Did you know that there is a type of food that is more deadly than sugar? And worse, you may be consuming it every day? Besides being a deadly food, it does a great damage to your health. It causes inflammation in the body, makes you eat more and put on weight, increases your risk of diabetes, dementia, cancer, and worse, you are being manipulated. The food industry wants you to eat this kind of food. They do everything to get you to put it in your shopping cart and consume it as soon as possible. Are you curious? Watch this video. Hello, and welcome to another video from the Daily Health Boosters channel. In this video, you will find out all about this type of food that is deadlier than sugar, and you will also learn how to form healthier food choices and make food your medicine, not your poison. If this interests you in any way, please subscribe to the channel and leave your like to support our work. I don't know if you have noticed, but in the last few years we have been smoking less, trying to exercise more, trying to take care of ourselves more, but even so, people have been getting fatter and having more prediabetes and diabetes. Just to have an idea, since 1930 heart problems, cancer, and diabetes have increased more than 500%. Is there a hidden enemy that can explain all this? There is. In 2019, before COVID, most of the deaths recorded in the world were caused by chronic non-communicable diseases. What are they? Heart attacks, strokes, cancer, dementia all have one key thing in common: inflammation. And what is the type of food that most inflames your body? Ultra-processed or junk food? Recent studies from November 2022 show that premature deaths due to ultra-processed foods kill more people than guns and stab wounds. Scary, isn't it? So, let's understand, what are ultra-processed foods? Ultra-processed foods are, as the name says, much more processed than normal. Just to open a parenthesis, many perfectly healthy foods are processed. We have to grind wheat to get flour, that's processing the food. We squeeze the orange to get the juice, that's also processing. In neither of these two examples is the person adding ingredients, but taking things from nature and changing them into another form. Ultra-processed foods usually have a very long list of ingredients, and if you try to read the weird names on the label, you won't be able to make them at home. You won't have many of those ingredients, and you won't even know where to buy them. These foods were made months ago in a factory far away from where you live, and the food industry has to put a lot of chemicals in there to keep the food from getting old and disgusting. The industry's priority is to make this food look freshly made, nice and crunchy. So they have to use artificial coloring, artificial emulsifiers, and flavorings. Just one question: if you prepare your food at home, do you need these? Of course you don't, but it won't last a month or 6 months either. And is all this chemistry, which increases the shelf life of these foods, good for you? No, it is a bomb. But do ultra-processed foods have nutrients? No. Ultra-processed foods have a lot of calories and few nutrients. And worse, these chemicals can hinder nutrient absorption, so they alter your intestinal flora and inflame your body, causing joint and muscle pain and worsening your memory and sleep. What are the ultra-processed foods? It is instant noodles, nuggets, frozen pizzas, crackers, packaged snacks, sausages, soft drinks, energy drinks, yogurts, ice cream, and breakfast cereals. Today, almost 60% of Americans' calorie intake comes from ultra-processed foods. But are ultra-processed foods really bad for you? There was a scientist at the National Institutes of Health, NIH, in the United States who disagreed that ultra-processed foods were bad for you. So he created two menus of about 4,000 calories each, the two similar diets of fat, sugar, sodium, and fiber, one of which was 80% ultra-processed food, and the other was real food. People would eat this food for 2 weeks, and they went to see what happened. When people ate from the ultra-processed menu, they ate 500 calories more than when they ate real food. So, first point, the ultra-processed foods are not satiating. It's very hard for you to stop eating. This makes you gain weight and body fat quickly. The second point is that ultra-processed food is absorbed by your body very quickly already in the upper part of your intestines. So it will spike your blood sugar very quickly, and your body will need to dump a bucket of insulin to counteract that. Also, those dyes, chemicals, and emulsifiers that serve to give a smoother, creamier texture to fat act on the lining of our intestines. Studies suggest that they can make your gut more permeable, causing inflammation. What diseases are associated with ultra-processed foods? Some we cite: diabetes, obesity, cardiovascular disease, cancer especially bowel cancer, depression, dementia, inflammatory diseases, hypertension, high cholesterol, hyperactivity. In other words, the list is long. A Spanish study that found that people who eat more than 4 servings of processed foods a day have a 62% higher risk of dying compared to those who eat less than 2 servings. Just as a comparison, excessive sugar consumption increases the risk of premature death by 12%. So it kills more than sugar does. And what to do to change this? First is by identifying the ultra-processed foods in your diet, and removing as many as you can. The simplest way to cut out ultra-processed foods from your diet is to buy fewer prepared and packaged foods from the supermarket, and eat more whole, fresh, and minimally processed foods. By avoiding ultra-processed foods, you will do your body a big favor. I'm sure it will have an amazing impact in preventing and even reversing some diseases. Let's do our part. To conclude this video, I assure you that starting with small changes and substitutions will already make a big difference in your long-term health. Remember to share so that more people have this knowledge. Until the next video.